welcome back. I hope you're all doing great. So in today's video, I thought I'd share my tips on how you can start a healthy lifestyle. Perhaps you already started your health and wellness journey, or maybe you want to start, you kind of fed up of how you are feeling physically and mentally, and you want to start living a healthy lifestyle. I think that's great if you are in that position, and perhaps you're looking through videos and reading books and articles and whatnot on how to start a healthy lifestyle or what to do, and you don't know what to do. So of course there are many information out there how and where you start your journey, and I think it really depends on each individual. It depends on you, how you live your life, and it depends the things that you like and you don't like. The main thing is just to start and try out different things and see what works best for you. So for a few weeks now I have been thinking about my own health and wellness journey and how did I start a healthy lifestyle, that I truly started thriving in my life. And when I say thriving, is feeling really good internally and externally. What you need to remember that anything you do, it has to start within first before you start doing things externally. And what I've noticed within my own journey, when I started changing things within me inside, the external things just naturally started unfolding and started working well for me, and I started attracting a better things, better people and better opportunities. So I just think you need to start from within before you start looking externally. The one thing that I really followed and I would really recommend, but it's up to you of course what you do and what advice you take. That's just my opinion and my own journey and what I've experienced, is that you cannot expect someone else to change your life and better your feeling or your emotion or change your body, the way you look or the way you feel every morning you wake up. You cannot expect that from anyone else other than yourself. And the ugly truth is that's on you, it's not on anyone else. And that's what I've learned through my journey. And I think it's so easy for us to start blaming circumstances or other people, especially people that are around us. Start blaming our childhood, how we grew up and why we are the way we are right now. Yes, there's definitely facts that what happened to you in a childhood, it has been contributing to your adulthood, and perhaps that's why you don't have a healthy lifestyle if you don't, or you're not happy with. You really need to take it upon yourself and start this journey. But I guess that's why you're watching this video. I guess that's the reason you're watching. So I'm not having a go at you, or I'm not trying to kind of project a negativity on someone. I am a very sensitive person and I am very sensitive to people's journeys, and I know we all different individuals, so I know we all have our own journeys and we can't all go at the same pace. I am completely understanding of this. However, I do think it goes to everyone, and one thing that I stand by is that you have the control within you to change your own life. Yes, we can't control everything externally. To a certain extent we can control, but a lot of things we can't, and that's okay. But what's happening within you inside, yes, you can. The thoughts that you are thinking, the feeling that you're feeling, the actions that you're taking mostly, so you have that control. If you are not happy where you are right now, you can move yourself from that position onto somewhere else where you will be happy. Yes, you don't know whether certainly you're going to be happy the road you may choose, but it's better to try than not to try and feel stuck in where you are right now. So my first tip would be sleep. It's so important for you to prioritize your sleep and to have a quality sleep. I've noticed a few years back I really struggled with my sleep, and when I didn't sleep I would wake up in the morning like I needed to have another nap or another 8 hours sleep, which of course is not normal. And when you feel like that, of course you don't want to go and do things that would be healthy for you. You don't want to exercise, you don't want to go for a walk, you don't want to cook a healthy meal. I really got to know that sleep is so important, and I started doing research on it, and I started doing just simply research on how can I get a quality night's sleep. And it's honestly so important. The only time we recharge our body is when we are asleep. That's our time to regenerate everything. That's why a lot of people, when they're ill, they sleep, because our body needs to recover, and the sleep is so important. Even with babies, if you look at them, they sleep all the time. And why they sleep is because they need to grow. They need to get that energy. Everything needs to work very well. And the only time you are stress-free, not interrupted, is when you are asleep. That's your power. That's when you're regenerating. I feel like I keep repeating the same word, but truly that's when you are really refueling your body. So I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to look into your sleep patterns and make sure you have a good night's sleep. So that'll be my tip number one. Okay, so I'm getting really hot here, so I'm going to move myself upstairs because this sun is going crazy, just up and down and shining, and I feel like my cheeks are starting to burn. So yeah, let me move myself and I'll come back to my tip number two. Okay, hi, so I'm back now. I just need to stabilize my camera. So my tip number two is your mindset. I have been talking about mindset forever, and I'm very passionate about mindset. I'm very passionate what is happening in your brain, because I think that's the ultimate key to your happiness. I think it's so important for you to recognize and be conscious of your thought process, the thoughts that you think daily. And my best advice would be catch yourself how you are thinking every day and what kind of thoughts you are thinking. Perhaps there are thoughts that they're negative, and they keep niggling. It's like a little devil in your ear. And you need to catch those thoughts. The worst thing that you can do is neglect them and just put at the back of your head in your subconscious mind. You don't want to suppress your thoughts. You don't want to keep pressing your thoughts. It's almost like a bin, and it's getting fuller and fuller, and you keep just pressing it down and putting more rubbish on top of each other, because at the end of the day, it will eventually explode and it will do you no good. You're just doing disservice for yourself, and you will feel like rubbish internally and you will not be happy. And that's the last thing that you want to do. And even till this day, I catch myself the thoughts I am thinking in my head, and especially I'm talking about negative thoughts, the thoughts that are truly making you feel unhappy. 1 minute you can be happy and the next minute the thought comes in your head. Yes, you have no control over that because something else can trigger, and then so in the next minute, you become very negative and you become very emotional. And that does happen to me. I am not saying that does not happen. I am a human and I have lots of painful, hurtful past where I guess sometimes certain things do trigger me and I am still working on it. But what I am very conscious of those thoughts, and I am very intentional with the thoughts that I am projecting. So if something comes negative, then replace them with the positive thoughts. And the best thing is to do, how you can track yourself, is write it down. It's so important to write your thoughts down, and then at least you can look at them and you can see what keeps occurring, the same thoughts, and what becomes repetitive. Then that's where you know where you need to start, and you need to start changing those thoughts. And I think it's super, super important, which is my third tip, is to write things down. So don't keep in your head, just write everything down. And honestly, guys, I cannot express enough. Do not underestimate the power of writing it down. Grabbing pen and paper and writing everything down on a piece of paper. Perhaps you write down your goals. How do you imagine your healthy lifestyle? How do you want to feel physically, mentally, spiritually? How do you want people behave with you? So do external as well. How do you want other people to talk to you? What kind of people you want to attract in your life? And what type of person do you want to be? How do you imagine yourself? Just write everything down. And I know this is it sounds like it's something that you would do at school, or like a little girl or a little boy, but don't underestimate this power. It's so important. It does not matter what age you are, because it does something to your mind. It will trigger your brain almost like it's fireworks, so you get very excited when you're writing things down. It's almost like you're creating your own story, and you get very excited. And when you get excited, of course, naturally you're projecting a positive energy out there into universe. And if you are a believer of what you put out there, that's what you will attract, then this is very powerful. Trust me, it's very, very powerful. Just try and let me know what you think. But of course, it's up to you what you want to do, and you take this advice or you don't. But that's what I have been doing. And I think it also gives me motivation, because I can look at the things. It's almost like creating a vision board. And I do have a vision board as well. And it's very powerful, because you can look at it every day, read through your notes, or look at the photos. And maybe you're not into too much in writing. Fine, cut some photos, put in your notebook, or maybe create a vision board on the phone. That's still fine. And look at it every day in what the things that you want to attract. How do you want your lifestyle to be? Because my understanding is, at the end of the day, us as humans, we have to see with our own eyes in order to believe. The only way you can believe something before it's there, before it's actually manifested into a physical world, is writing it down, or drawing a photos, or maybe printing out photos and cutting them down, and sticking them on the piece of paper and looking at them every day. It does not have to be your exactly face. It can be someone else's on internet, or whatever your dreams are, whatever your wishes, or whatever you want to be, no matter what. But you can look at it like a Bible every day. So I think it's so, so important, and that's how you're going to manifest the things that you want to, but also it will give you that oomph, that drive to get up and do the thing that you want to achieve. My tip number 4 would be exercise. I cannot express enough again how important exercise is. I never valued in the past how important it is to move your body in the various ways. So I always exercised. I remember for the longest time, I always exercised, even when I left school and I started college. I remember I was into dance. So I was doing dance in college as part of my course, but also outside as well. And I absolutely love that. Dance is really great exercise if you're not into any type of other exercises. It's social, it's fun, it's just really, really good. But I remember when I used to exercise and go to the gym, it was never intentional. I was at that age and it was very cool and popular, and I think I wanted to have a certain type of body. That's why I exercised, and I never truly understood the power of moving your body and actually exercising and focusing on each muscle of your body. I think I was just immature and I didn't have enough example in my life, and I didn't have anyone there to explain to me. However, fast forward, 15 years later, I truly started diving into what means exercising every day. And it's very important that you exercise, especially older you get, more you should be doing exercises. You shouldn't be relaxing. So it doesn't matter what age you are right now, make sure that you move your body. And if you just started your healthy lifestyle and you've never exercised in your life, or perhaps you have, but then you stopped and now it's really hard to get into it, that's fine. Just start with daily walks, then fast walks, maybe then a little jog, maybe little exercises at home. I don't think you have to go to the gym in order to exercise. You can exercise at home. For instance, I started Pilates, and recently I absolutely love Pilates and I'm learning more about it, and I'm really growing with the whole Pilates journey. But I don't just do Pilates, I also go to the gym and I make sure I strengthen my body by lifting weights as well, and then stretching my body. So that took me a while to get to this place that I am in today. But I honestly feel amazing when I move my body. It doesn't matter what you do, just start, even if you do little bit. I think if we want to make excuse, then we will always make excuses. But to exercise is so important for longevity. So if you want to live for longer, and it's not just about living for longer, but living a healthy lifestyle, I could not recommend more than moving your body every single day. So overall, exercise will help you with the health of your mind and your body, and it will be amazing spiritually as well, as you will be more happier from the inside. My tip number 5 is conscious eating. You need to be careful the things that you're putting in your body. So when I started my journey and I wanted to become more healthy, I really needed to understand what food does to our bodies. And I really needed to understand what the things that I eat, how it's making me feel physically and mentally. And food really contributes to our mood, how we feel day-to-day basis, and the thoughts that we project. And overall, food is a fuel for our body. So if we put a quality fuel in our body, then the performance will be much better. But if we put a toxic fuel in our body and not so quality, then of course our performance of our body will be not so good, and our bodies will not perform as so well. And of course, if you for a long period of time putting that unhealthy food, putting junk and being unconscious and just putting anything and everything just because you think it tastes good, but it's not actually a good quality, then eventually we're going to have a rundown car, so a rundown body, and our bodies will not perform as long as it should be, and it won't be performing very well for the rest of our lives. Because at the end of the day, we have to appreciate our bodies and we have to love our bodies, because these bodies have to carry us for the rest of our lives, whenever our end date will be. So you have to really be conscious of the foods that you put in your body. Do research on it. Before you buy anything from outside, just look at the back of the packages, look at the ingredients. And if you don't understand any of those ingredients, then that's not good. Then try to stay away from those products. But even when you do understand those ingredients, then do research on those ingredients and see if they actually any good for your body as for us as humans, because there are so many food out there that I personally wouldn't even touch now. I am so careful and conscious of the things that I put in my body. Yes, that's not to say that sometimes I still indulge and sometimes I still really crave sugar. So I try to replace now with something more natural like raw honey instead of using sugar. In fact, I haven't actually had actual table sugar in my house for past 3 or 4 years now. But of course, like I said, from outside, if we're going out for a meal or for a day out, then yes, I would have like a cake or donut, which of course it has loads of sugar. But even now, I try my best to not buy as often, and most of my kind of daily life try to stay away from sugar. So that would be my number one advice with food. Maybe start there. And my tip number 6 is focus on yourself and not on others. So look at what you want to do and what you are doing. I think it's so easy for us to redirect our mind and our eyes and our ears onto someone else and start looking at someone else's life. And usually we see a glimpse of someone's life and we think they're living such a perfect life and that's what we want to do. And then we start judging ourselves and judging people around us, especially we are most close to, and we think that we don't have that perfect life. It becomes kind of debilitating a little bit. And of course, then you don't feel good and you want to stay in your comfort zone and you want to eat comfort food. You don't want to go out and exercise. You start making basically excuses for yourself. So don't do that. Don't look at anyone else. Just focus on yourself, what suits you and what you want to do. And remember that everyone's journey in health and wellness or starting a healthy lifestyle is different. Everyone's journey will look different for everyone. You just need to focus on your own journey. And one thing that is really, really important to understand, and it took me a while to understand this, that no matter how many times you fail, do not give up. You get up and try again and try again, and you keep trying until it works. Do not give up. So if you start exercising and then perhaps you look in the mirror and you're not happy the way you look, or perhaps it was too hard, too hard to wake up every day in the morning and exercise, or in the evening, or whenever you choose to exercise. Don't give up. Just do every single day, little bit by little bit. Like I mentioned before in my exercise tip, that even if you exercise for 5 or 10 minutes a day, but do not give up on yourself, because I think that is the worst thing, when you make promise for yourself and then you don't stick to that promise. It's so easy for us to make a promise to someone else and stick to that promise. The number one, the most important human in your life should be you yourself, because you cannot put everyone else first or look after them or help them if you don't look after yourself. So you have to deliver that love and care to yourself first before you try to do that for anyone else. So that would be my final advice, and I hope this video has helped you in some ways, and I'm super excited for you to start your healthy lifestyle, and I wish you all the best on your healthy lifestyle journey. And let me know if you would like to hear or would like me to share anything more in details on what I'm sharing today. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye for now.